Thanks for listening to Jim, Deb, and Kevin, 3 hometown Hoosiers, and now 2022 CMA Award winners.
95.5 WFMS.
95.5 WFMS. Good morning. It's Monday.
It is Monday.
Jim, Deb, and Kevin coming off of a Colts loss yesterday.
Yeah, you know how we said it was a must-win?
Mm-hmm.
Is it really? Because we lost. Can we just say no, it's not?
It's weird the way our division is set up this year because there's only one more divisional game left for the season.
Yeah.
And it's where they just kind of stacked up the front there, so there's not a lot of movement we can do there.
No.
So, yeah. Yeah, but maybe, next week is a must-win.
Yeah, well, it's the Washington Commanders next week.
Right.
So Carson Wentz is on injured reserve. I don't know if he'll be back to play for them or not, but that'll be an interesting home game for us.
Well, if there's one good thing, it looked like a beautiful day in Nashville.
We're always looking for the positive.
Blue sky. Nothing but blue sky there.
Kind of like here.
Yeah.
So you know how you look at art and you think, oh, that's really beautiful. And then sometimes you can look at things through a microscopic lens and you don't realize what things look like up close.
Oh, yeah.
There was an art competition and the whole point of it was to be able to zoom in, a billion times and to see what something looks like up close. And for the most part, things looked pretty beautiful. And there were like stained glass and things like that. And then someone decided to put in what the picture of the face of an ant looks like up close. And I'm telling you, I mean, it's on my computer screen right now. It's all I can do to not turn it off.
That's not an ant.
That's the face of an ant up close. And it looks like it has horns, red eyes, and it looks like it has...
teeth issues.
Well, I don't know if that's even... like fangs almost.
Yeah.
Of course, Halloween season, it looks pretty spooky.
Well, you could go as an ant now if you knew what they look like that.
I feel sorry for them.
I kind of do too.
You're making fun of them.
They suffer from little
dark
disease.
red eyes. Looks like an angry expression. Google it. I'm going to put this. Actually, I'm going to share this page on our Facebook page.
Okay.
So you can see it.
Poor ant.
Poor ant. It's ugly and it's little.
Hard workers.
It's a professional photographer. A professional photographer took it. It's a bird photographer, actually. And he says he used reflective light to capture what an ant looks like up close. And it's legit. So it's not like somebody just, photoshopped or made it up.
Poor thing.
Why do you guys feel sorry for a little tiny ant?
Because we're making fun of it. Mm-hmm. Look how ugly you are.
It's little and ugly, but like you said, Jim.
Hard workers. They really are. They have great work ethics.
I won't say whose name it was because I feel bad for the person. But I remember Kevin calling out.
You just said my name.
No. I mean the public figure. I'm not going to say the public figure's name.
Wait a minute.
But I remember Kevin calling out a public figure. Do you remember this, Jim?
No, wait a minute.
I won't say who it is.
I don't think I remember
a local celebrity.
What?
Well, he's nationally known too, but he lives here. And you said, yeah, you said something like, he's not the best looking guy in the world.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to Toby Keith.
No, it wasn't
Yeah,
Toby Keith.
we were talking to Toby Keith.
Oh, you were talking to Toby
about
somebody
Larry Bird. I'll go ahead and say it.
Don't say that. I think he's handsome and
what,
nice.
He's a hard worker.
He's a hard worker. He's a big guy.
Did it twice. You said it twice.
Well, if I'm saying it, I mean it. I'm not going to, deny it.
I apologize right now.
Public information.
For the lack of sensitivity of my co-host.
Just sorry for the ants.
We can't be friends.
I do believe Toby Keith agreed. I want you to think back to Halloween's past, and the doorbell rings, and you open the doorbell, and there's somebody, a kid, with just, some sort of outfit on. You have to think, what are you supposed to be?
Well, it's not good.
And then sometimes you even wonder, are they even wearing a costume? They just standing there holding the bag, whiting candy. Well, there is a push now, and I kind of like this idea.
Oh, no.
That the amount of candy you get should be based on how good your costume is.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
So it's kind of outcome based. But the idea is if you put a little effort into your costume, maybe you'll get a full-size Snickers bar. Maybe you'll get two.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have the
fun
resources.
Size. They went on to say that in the article. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just take a moment and think of something. But, have you all been there before where the doorbell rings and there's someone standing in front of you and they're not even wearing it?
Yes, but I would not limit their candy. I couldn't do that.
Well, I'm not saying you limit those, but you reward the ones who do.
No.
Go and beyond.
No, they're out having a good time doing innocent kid things. They're not, they're not causing problems. Everybody gets the same.
No.
Everybody gets a trophy.
No, that's exactly right. See, you're into that generation. I'm in the one. No, you work for it.
Well, yes, you work for it.
Everybody
but
gets something. Okay, you know what? I don't know what you are, so here's a dum-dum.
Oh.
Or a circus peanut.
And then the really
candy.
elaborate ones, you give a Kit Kat, full-size candy bar.
Jimmy, you're being quiet over there.
You're playing
How do you-
favorites. I don't like it.
Okay, weigh in on this. You agree with Deb that everybody gets the same amount of candy regardless of the effort?
Here's what they get. This
Everybody
is how
gets
I
a
do
trophy?
It. I grab a handful, I put it in there. It doesn't make any difference what
You
they're
just want
wearing.
them gone
I
quicker.
don't even do
There you
that.
go.
I say take what you
Oh,
want.
you let them do it?
Take
Okay.
what you want. Oh, the more they take, the less I eat. Take what you want.
Jim just wants that moment they're interrupting his
There you go,
watching
right
the
there.
baseball game to be quicker.
Look at you. Look at you. All right. There's your candy. Okay, I see you.
I can totally hear Jim. Look at you. Look at you.
Wow. Yeah, here's some candy.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Oh,
I
think
like the idea that
now
you.
we're thinking too much.
See, that requires too much thought.
That's
what
exactly
I'm saying.
right.
You know, I just give them the candy and
I
have a
want to
good night.
reward those who work harder. That's what I'm trying to do.
Look at him.
So the ones that have painted faces, the elaborate.
Yeah, a wig or and it could be a store-bought thing or homemade. I don't care, but just come in costume, scary or non-scary, whatever it is. But show up with nothing but a pillowcase in your hand. You're
Pillowcase in the hand. What if
cheeky-
they've got they painted a scar down their face?
You're getting a small little piece of candy.
Oh.
Maybe a piece
Well.
of Wrigley's gum.
Oh, you're a Scrooge.
Yeah, guess who's
Not
going to
a
be avoiding
screw.
his
We'll be
eyes?
going to
huh?
Kevin's house.
I am
Hey,
rewarded.
kids, avoid Kevin.
No. Hey, kids, dress up and come to Kevin's house. That's what it is.
I see. It is a Monday morning, and as a public service to you, we like to pass along Deb's one-pot meal so you can plan your week accordingly.
Yeah, so the one pot is actually one sheet pan.
Okay.
And it's sheet pan chicken and broccoli. Now, I didn't find the recipe. I knew I had chicken, and I knew I had a bag of frozen broccoli. And I thought, surely there's a recipe or a marinade or something.
Yeah.
And so I Googled those two items, and up popped a sheet pan chicken and broccoli. And I have a picky eater. Hayden, who's a senior in high school, it's like hit or miss. Maybe 10 out of 10 meals, he'll eat 4. He loved it. So I found a new meal that I can make for the whole family. Everybody thought it was good. And it all is based on what they call a lip-smacking marinade. And you know what? I didn't have to go get any of the ingredients. I already had them. I had apple cider vinegar in my pantry. I had a little olive oil, a little Dijon mustard. You put in 2 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Oh.
Yeah. Some soy sauce. And just a shake of Italian seasoning. That's the marinade. And you put that over the chicken in the oven for 15 minutes, and then you add the broccoli in the last 15 minutes, and you drizzle it over the broccoli. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. The
Really?
broccoli was almost like tender enough to just chew, but then it had a little bit of a crunch to it.
Oh, that's always good to have that.
Does
way.
this sound good to you guys?
Yeah, and you said you made it, and
I made it, and I had took pictures.
okay.
And that way you can see it. I'm going to post those here in just a moment on our Facebook page. You'll be able to see it and then make it for yourself. But I'm telling you, super easy. I had all the
sweetness
ingredients.
of the syrup, along with the saltiness of the soy.
Yes, and then the little apple cider vinegar, which kind of gave it and then I could
Tangy.
Yes.
and then I would take a bite of the chicken, and I could just barely taste that Dijon mustard. It was good.
Wow.
So he had meatloaf last week and got a fancier meal this week.
You call it fancy?
Oh, well, yeah.
2 main ingredients: broccoli
Well,
and chicken.
Kind of healthy.
That's the behind-the-scenes part. When you present it to the
Okay.
family, they're going to think you slave.
It does
Right.
look like you worked a lot harder on it. They recommend you can serve it with like steamed rice or something like that.
Sure, I
but-
can see that.
Yeah, I didn't have this. That's the one thing I didn't have. I didn't have the steamed rice. So and you know what I've done, because I can never make it perfectly sticky like it is in a restaurant. So
Oh, yeah.
sometimes I go and I buy a pint of or a quart of their steamed rice at like the China place
Yeah,
just down the street.
Just put it in there.
Yeah.
I assume there weren't any leftovers then, right?
Because it would have been brought in here.
Well, I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
leftovers are meant for lunch.
Fun fact, this is one of the most often downloaded segments we do. We put this on our website, and folks love this one-pot meal. And we had a gentleman that sent us a letter
He was so sweet.
that he's had trouble downloading those.
Yeah,
And he's asked for Deb to rewrite them all for the last 6
I want to
months.
say hi to Thomas, because he said he's an 85-year-old listener. He says, I love Deb's one-pot meals, but I have trouble getting all the details. I'm not sure. Maybe he's not on social media. So he says, I'm requesting a printout of the last 6 months of one-pot meals.
Let's make it
There we
happen
go.
for him.
He does all the cooking for he and his wife, and he said that would certainly help. I love that.
I
Yeah,
love
no
that.
kidding.
Thank you,
We're
Thomas,
here to
for
help.
listening. Yes,
That's
we
right.
are.
Yeah.
That's right. Back into the groove of things. Nothing helps more than Kevin's bad joke worth repeating.
You know, a joke like this makes you appreciate the other jokes.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to set the bar a little lower today for this Monday.
We keep going lower.
Just to let you know that it's not necessarily one of my stronger jokes.
Oh, geez.
Despite that fact, it's sponsored by the Hearing Solutions of Indiana, where you've never heard like this before. My dad said I could carve pumpkins on the kitchen table, so I did what he said. When he came back in the room, he yelled at me. He said, "You ruined the table, and you misspelled pumpkins, too." See, he carved
Actually, into the table.
Oh,
see?
that it's on a Monday. It's too early for that.
Carved it right
Hey, I
into
warned
there.
you. All right, I warned you.
Kevin seems to have a little extra skip in his step here.
I do.
That is because
Starting last Friday, the Hallmark Channel started playing Christmas movies.
Yep, he loves that each and every year.
I am not afraid to admit it. I openly admit it. And since I have come forth and said how much I love Christmas movies, specifically on the Hallmark Channel,
Sure.
more and more men have come out and said, you know what, we watch it too.
Right.
So you
telling
don't watch it because Andrea watches it.
Oh no, I'll go home later today, and she's not home from work yet, and I'll see what's playing.
I'm surprised because aren't there a lot of like romantic?
Oh, they are sappy as sappy can be.
That doesn't.
Right.
But for some reason,
that
it
doesn't
just
sound like you.
It doesn't. But for some reason, when you mix in Christmas with it, I'm like, I love that. That's
I know,
great.
but I always
and
think-
it's every story is the same.
I know.
All ends with
A
good
gal
stuff.
who doesn't know a guy moves to a small town. The guy meets the gal. They start talking. The next thing you know, they
What
kiss
about-
under the mistletoe. And
What
there
about
you
the
go.
quality of acting? I usually think it's cheese ball. I had to go get a mammogram last year, and I remember sitting in the waiting room, and they were playing one of those, and I thought, I can't even stomach this. I can't even watch all
Well,
of it.
then you need a little Christmas spirit in
I
you.
do
is
have
what you
Christmas
need, girly.
spirit.
I'm telling you what, I love it. And I was excited when I noticed on Friday they started their countdown. I thought, it's a little early. Not even Halloween yet.
No.
But I can watch the movies.
Sit on the back porch at 78 degrees and enjoy a good
Well, good. Now you
Christmas
can get
movie.
off TikTok. You've been watching TikTok.
You're right, I will. I'll
forever.
get off TikTok and watch Christmas movies.
Well, I knew he was giddy, and I thought, why is he so giddy? It's because he loves
I'm
the
not
Hallmark
alone, though. I'm
Channel.
telling you, there's a lot of guys out
guys
there
do.
that because I've been open
Well, maybe
about
you
my
can
addiction to Christmas movies.
start like a club. Maybe it's like a book club. You
Yeah,
get
there you
together
You know
and
what? Maybe
review
we
it.
will.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
we will.
Okay.
And we will not include you.
Well, I don't wanna
because
go.
you don't like the acting.
I don't like the acting was better. I'd go because I'm sentimental, but it's a little too cheesy for me.
Well, it's too late now. You've said hateful words. You're not a part of the group.
Okay, fine.
95.5 WFMS. Jim, Deb, and Kevin. Colts yesterday
Oh, yeah.
in Tennessee to take on the Titans, and
Yeah.
it didn't work out so well for us.
No, not really.
But, well, help us out here to try to get over this.
Okay.
We love our Colts.
We love our Colts.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We love our Colts.
We love our Colts.
How about you? Well, they may not win the game, but we love them just the same. We love our Colts.
Oh, yes,
we do. Well, the Colts took a trip to Tennessee. They were hoping for a victory. Well, their playoff dreams shrunk because they really stunk. Let's look ahead to 2023.
Yes.
We love our Colts.
We love our Colts.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We love our Colts.
We love our Colts.
How about you? Well, they may not win the game, but we love them just the same. We love our Colts. Oh, yes, we do. We love our Colts. Oh, yes, we do. Calling Dr. Kenny. Calling Dr. Kenny.
Yeah, details on that coming up in about 30 seconds. Nash News Now, sponsored by 1 Hour Heating and Cooling. Zac Brown Band canceled Friday's show in Vancouver, Canada, after some crew members were denied entry into the country. The band could have performed without them, but Zac says, nope, we are a family and we all stick together. This was not related to COVID. We don't know exactly why they weren't allowed across the border, but
wow.
they weren't. And so Zac says, sorry,
Maybe
all or
somebody
none.
forgot their passport.
I don't know.
You know?
Cody Johnson's I love this story. Sound equipment malfunctioned during a show in Fort Worth, Texas. So he had to improvise for a few minutes. So what did he do? He played some theme songs. He played the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song and the Beverly Hillbillies theme
really?
song. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Love that. Kenny Chesney was given an honorary doctorate from East Tennessee State University. He graduated from there in 1990. By the way, in case you didn't know, he studied bluegrass.
Yeah.
And
Didn't know
advertising.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Huh.
Which really, he's kind of in that industry.
Dr.
Have
Kenny.
to market yourself.
If you got an honorary doctorate, would you want us to refer to you as Dr. Jim Denny?
Well, why not?
Well,
I agree.
I wouldn't.
I agree. If I got one, I would. If I got one, I would want you to say.
Yeah, Dr. Kevin.
I'd maybe make my wife call me Dr. Honey, but yeah, I think I would want. Deb, you
Dr.
wouldn't. So
Honey?
Butler gave you an honorary degree.
I'm not going to tell people to call me that.
You wouldn't want to go by that. You
well,
wouldn't
I
say,
would want to, but I think it's ridiculous. I didn't earn it.
95.5 WFMS. Good morning. It's Jim, Deb, and Kevin.
I love this guy. He's on TikTok, and he was explaining what makes his business work. You know, a lot of people have realized that TikTok's not just for teenagers.
No.
And so he owns a business that has a manufacturing warehouse, and he moved locations. And when he did, he realized that a lot of his workforce did not want to stay with him because that means they would have to move as well.
Move too? Yeah.
And so he lost his workforce. And then with COVID and all of that going on, then he had trouble trying to get some people to work for him and try to rebuild his staff. So he says he put a note online. He got creative and he posted an ad, and it said, "Any moms who are willing to work flexible hours, contact me."
Okay.
And he said they all flooded him.
I love this
He
idea.
said, guess who came knocking? It was the moms.
Yeah.
And here's why. He said, you know what happened? They start at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And they'll work before their kids are out of bed. And he says, then they leave and they want to go home and take care of the kids and get them up for school. And then they come back and they work all day like crazy. No breaks, no nothing,
Really?
no gossip. He says at 2 o'clock, they're done because they want to be able to get them off the school bus. And he actually has come forward and said, I found out it's the most efficient group I've ever had. I'm not kidding. It was a blessing. The moms who work for me are multitasking geniuses.
Well, moms are multitasking. Women in
True.
general are multitasking.
He says,
yeah.
I'm very grateful for them. And so I'm thinking, why doesn't everybody do this? I mean, because I do see a lot. I belong to a mom's group on Facebook, and a lot of them will say, you know, I've got 3 kids. I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
Anybody having suggestions on work that would work around my hours? They need flexible hours.
to be
They have to
flexible.
be there in the morning. They have to be there to get their kids home off the bus. And I remember Greg saying his mom and dad were divorced early on, and his mom worked 3rd shift. So she would put the kids to bed, and then she'd go in and she
Go
would
to
work
work?
overnight while they were sleeping.
Wow.
So anyways, I just
Dedication.
thought, this is amazing. So he's getting a lot of applause because he's obviously super supportive of moms and allowing them to go and raise their family and still bring home money and support them financially.
He could expand his workforce and hire grandmas, too.
Oh, of course.
Grandmas
Do
are
that.
great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Flexible
idea.
hours. You know. Guy's got it made there, doesn't he?
Plus, they might bring pie in.
Oh, now you're talking.
Well, if you want to do the same, if you own your own business and you want to do the same, he literally posted an ad. Any moms who are willing to work flexible hours. And flexible is the key word. People
Bring in
love
pie.
that.
Mentioned an hour ago that I've been pretty excited about the fact that Hallmark
Oh, yeah.
movie
that's right.
channel's back with Christmas movies.
movies, huh?
I love Christmas movies. I'm not afraid to announce that, even though some have said I should check in my man card because that's not really necessarily geared towards men. I don't care. I love it.
Well,
Fine
women
with that.
probably love it because if their significant other does, because then they'll watch the movie with them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But we put on Facebook earlier, we said, what are some things that you do that some would say are not adult-like or maybe not manly? An example would be eating kids' cereal or watching Hallmark movies, which is what I enjoy doing. Selena says stickers. I put them on everything, calendars, notes, etc. I even buy the Happy Meal at McDonald's just to get the
stickers.
Stickers? Oh, okay.
Okay, I like that. Corey says, I'm over 40, but I'd go to Disney World even without kids.
Oh, a lot of people would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Connie says, my husband is 63, and he still eats Fruit Loops.
I love Fruity Pebbles.
I do, too, yeah. And Belinda says, I still like coloring in coloring books, preferably with brand new crayons.
Oh, of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Now, Jim, what do you do that some
I
would
guess
say is not manly?
is,
Or
I like scented candles.
You do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I take them when we go on the road. I take one with me. Did you know that?
To your hotel room? Is that even allowed?
Oh, yeah, you can have a candle. Just
I
it's
don't
nice
know about
and
that.
scented
I
in
bet
there.
that's
It
a
smells
fire
good.
hazard.
Well, if you leave it going,
I'm
leave
not
it
going
in
to
the building.
judge because I watch Christmas movies, Hallmark Channel, but that's a little weird.
I mean, I don't know if it's safe.
Deborah, what do you do?
Oh, I think I'm very mature.
You want us to give you the list we made?
You're
Well, yeah, I
right.
would love to hear your list. What do I do that's childlike? I do like to color. That's therapeutic, but that's artistic in my opinion.
Now, if I say it, you're going to get mad at me.
I'm not going to get mad. I'm stuck with you. I can't get mad, walk out, or whatever.
I think you're messy like a child.
Oh. Okay, now I'm mad. How
Okay.
so? I'm not messy.
I'll take my camera and I'll go out and look at the back seat of your car.
Go ahead.
Is it messy like a child?
Actually, you can't because I have
like a child's room?
I'm going to make you feel bad now. I have a Christmas gift in the back of my car for you. Actually, not Christmas. Your birthday's coming up. I bought it for birthday. So,
but is your car like a child's room?
No, it looks fine. I've got a blanket out there for a sporting event. I've got an umbrella. I've got 4 or 5 bags that need to be returned of stuff that I bought.
Keep going.
Okay, and your birthday gift. And your birthday gift.
Keep going. You're making my point.
You already got him a birthday gift?
Oh, I couldn't resist. It was perfect. By the way, you owe me half.
Well, there you go. You can still weigh in on our Facebook page if you'd like. What are some things that you do that are still childlike? And
I
you're
can't
okay
believe
announcing
you
that?
said that. Well, actually, hey, Mr.
It was your husband that said...
Mr. Switzerland, do you agree, Jimmy? About me being messy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin's all organized over there.
I have 2 creamers open. Who cares?
There's a 2-pound weight sitting on the counter.
That doesn't mean I'm messy. It means I'm trying to be physically fit.
It's been there for months.
Deb's got your daily dirt. Matthew Perry says you can only count on one friend.
Yeah, well, no, he could count on a lot of them, but he could count on one more than the other.
Oh, gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had a better friend
So
out
there's
of all
one,
of his friends. Yes, we'll get to that here in just a second and tell you more in a moment. But first, Gwen Stefani apparently is the reason Blake Shelton decided to leave The Voice.
What?
You know, we announced that he's going to do one more season. He still has another one to go. But and not for a bad thing, but he just wants to spend more time with his wife and ensure that they have a happy future together.
Well, good for him.
I mean,
they got enough money.
He's been on it since day one.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would imagine after a while, the taping schedule gets,
A little crazy.
pretty
Could be,
consuming.
yeah.
Also, it looks like less than 24 hours for Taylor Swift's Midnights album to break the Spotify record for most streamed album in a single day.
Really?
Taylor tweeted thanks to her fans and said, quote, like, what even just happened? It amazes me that she's still surprised because she's been successful since early on. By the way, I listened to her new song on that album, the newest release. It was during my walk over the weekend. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good?
And she released a video with it. She's very theatrical, and the video is amazing, too. Matthew Perry says that all of his friends, co-stars, were great during his time where he was struggling with addiction. But Jennifer Aniston was, quote, the one that reached out the most. He also claims he spent about $9 million getting sober.
Wow.
He says his doctor
That's
told
worth it.
him, for about 9 months, he had a colostomy bag. And his doctor told him, every time you go and even think about taking an OxyContin, I want you to remember this colostomy bag. And he said that's the reason he was able to stop.
Well, I'm glad he's got help.
Sure.
He envisioned him with that, using that for the rest of his life. And I know some people have to and they can't help it. But he said, if I had a choice, I knew I needed to make the right decision. So
Absolutely.
he's obviously released a new book about getting sober.
Congrats to Jim, Deb, and Kevin. Proud to be part of your morning routine. And now 2022 CMA Award winners.
It brightens my day.
95.5 WFMS.